Hello friends, it's Armstrong here from the Miniatures, and today we are building more PEG spaceships. So I was looking at Facebook group that is dealing with the PEG spaceships, and somebody posted those spaceships using battle caps as well. And I was like, let's try it. So today we're going to be trying. Like I always store battle caps because they are going well for the wheels for orc vehicles and stuff like that. Yeah, if you are building truck vehicles, I always advise just to have a couple of battle caps on hand. So I have 3 roughly identical, 2 Coke, 1 7-Up. And I have, of course, some of the pegs and other stuff. Yeah, so let's just start figuring this out. So I was just thinking maybe, kind of a Millennium Falcon feel to it. And, well, this is kind of uneven, but 2 of them on the side of the bottle cap. Yeah, it just kind of looks a little bit wide. Well, Millennium Falcon do actually look, it is just circular with 2 sticking out points. So, if you really want to go Millennium Falcon look, it would be more like this. But then you would use either bigger bottle caps or smaller pegs for that. But let me just try to adjust this to something that I think gonna kind of sort of work maybe. How to do that without messing everything up, that's another question that I don't have really good answer for. Let's try doing this. And I should have my micro saw somewhere in here. Oh, that's how well prepared I am for this video. Yeah, okay. It is here, yeah. So what I can do, I can just put it down and try to fit it in like this. As you can see, it is just a tiny bit over, but once I start cutting, it should be fine. So I'll just give it a little bit of a clamp and try cut this without messing everything up. And you may be wondering, why do I need, the freaking jig for cutting straight? I cannot cut straight if my life depended on it without the help. So yeah, I really need that. Like I bought chopper, which is bending without a wooden base, and I bought other stuff to cut straight, and I still struggle. So anything that can help me cut straight is very well received by me. And the ones of you who are looking for the penal legend videos, I got my laptop dropped off for repairs this week, so that's why I missed the video. It was I just received it today back, and I'm working on this. Okay, so I have this. It's not perfectly straight, because why would I ever cut something perfectly straight? But it can actually kind of work. So I have this and this. It kind of goes to the point, I guess. So no matter what I did, I still slip up. Let's try to do the other 2, and hopefully at least one of them gonna be semi-straight. We're still gonna use all 3 of them, even if we're gonna have slightly different result on every single one. Okay, so 1, and now number 2 should be, I guess, like that. That's much straighter, I guess. It's still not perfect, but whatever. We're just gonna do all three, like I said. You see, like the cut when I'm going one way is just moving when I'm going backwards, so it is still dancing. It is making itself rounded. Excuses from myself. Or for myself, either or. Like it would be probably easier if I just glue it to the jig. Nope. A little bit more like that. Stay. All right. So there we go. 3 of them, each one cut a little bit different. So we're gonna have 3 different looking ships. But that's the penalty that I'm paying for trying new stuff. Yeah, so let's just start with just trying one. I'm gonna try to make them similarly looking. So let's just try to make them longer. So yeah. Okay, this is the gel super glue. So it takes a little bit longer to dry. Come on. I'm just gonna be working on 3 of them at the same time. So okay, so this is gonna be the one that is coming in. Let me actually just move my camera a little bit backwards, so when I'm working at the edge of the table, you can actually see what I'm doing instead of me just messing everything up and just not showing anything because I'm keeping everything too close to my chest. And I'm talking literally to my chest, not, metaphorically. Okay, so we have the first side. Let's try the other one. 2 and 3. Again, those pegs are horrible quality. But that's what you get for buying the cheapest possible material. And I don't really mind. Now the question is, do I want the front to be coming together or do I want the backs? I think back's gonna be more important this time around. So I want the back to be roughly at the same length as the other one. So that's the one. You can see even with the jig there is a lot of problems that I encounter with these builds. 2. But I can live with those little mistakes. It's not gonna break the build. Or maybe it will. We will see. Come on. All right. Now I could use some super glue accelerator. Let's just give it like 5-10 minutes to dry because otherwise it's just gonna fall apart. All of the ships kind of dried off, so everything is holding. But it is more of a, on the word of honor than actually holding properly, in my opinion. But let's see what we can do with all of that. Yeah. So we have this, and it already look like something. Yeah. Now let's see what else we can do. So if I cut it roughly here, that should allow me to get another yeah, different shape, I mean. It's not going to be exact because this is going to be extending a little bit. Yeah. But that could be actually semi-intentional, I guess. Just clear up this because otherwise I'm going to get a splinter if I know my luck. So let's just put a little bit of glue in here. Add this in here. And we're going to repeat that over all 3 of the ships. So I need to cut 2 more. You're going to be watching exciting things today. You know, me cutting a lot of stuff. Oh, that feels like a punishment for you and for me. Of course, I'm joking. It's not all that bad, I guess. Just, oh yeah, I'm just looking if I cut it in the right place. Oh, I really need to get myself a different micro saw because this one blade is a little bit too shallow. So when I'm cutting some stuff, you know, it just still doesn't go deep enough. But it is good. It is good for what I'm using it right now. So you see, for every single one, there's going to be a little bit of a difference in those. But again, that's the choice that I made when I decided to use bottle caps as a part of the build because I knew that something going to go wrong. And you know, especially cutting straight lines. Like I said, I'm not good at it. It's like I'm not good at painting. Yeah. I just do it because I like to finish projects. Like I probably could improve at painting, you know, but it requires so much patience and, you know, improving skills and actually being good at stuff, which, yeah, kind of isn't my thing. So let's grab 3 more of those. Nope. Nope. Like I'm looking for ones that actually have the indentations, yeah? And I'm looking at them and so, a lot of them literally don't have them, just... Okay, so we have what? 1, 2, and I need a 3rd one. Okay, this one could work. All right, so let's just see if I'm gonna cut it in this on this indentation. That's gonna work. Okay, so again, we are modifying stuff, which is awesome. Yeah, and I'm not being sarcastic in the slightest. Yeah, actually, why I like the peg fleet, it is because I usually just use the pieces as they are, and I try to avoid cutting stuff. But sometimes, you know, life give you pegs and you need to make a peglet out of them. So yeah, I didn't say peg legs. All right, so we have another 3 pieces prepared. Like I said, a lot of cutting in this video. But I really don't. Well, I mind a little bit, you know. It would be easier if there was no cutting, but generally it's not all that bad. It's just me being complainy today. I'm being complainy because I dropped my laptop at cleaners. They clean it out, and the problem that I have is still persisting. So, yeah, the cleanup didn't fix the issue. So I'm gonna probably have to drop it off at some sort of a technician to look at my graphics card, because I think that there might be problem with my graphics card. It still works, yeah, but it is crashing on games. Alright, so we have this. It's a very simplistic shape. And then I have a lot of those offcuts that we just generated. So I'm thinking that we can use them for something. You know, like maybe building up some sort of a upper deck geometry, which would be hiding the thing that we really wanted to be exposed. Maybe like that. Or like that. Yes, that's the idea. Okay, so yeah. So I'm gonna take this one and I'm just gonna slap it over here. Yeah, and again, because this is gluing wood to the plastic, it's gonna take ages. Wood to wood is going so much better. And then I'm gonna flip the other one. Yeah, and we're just gonna attach it like that. So we have this kind of tail fin almost. And then we have our two arms. Yep, that's the idea. Okay, so we're gonna do it on all three of them. And I know that I usually just build one and then I'm gonna smack the other two together in the background when nobody is watching, but let's just try to build all three of them together. Okay, and number 3. Pam, pam, pam. So here we go. Now I'm thinking it isn't done. It still requires some stuff. Could I use those as like extra kind of weird shapes to it? Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna do that. So we're just gonna recycle the pieces that we just cut off. Yeah. And just add them to the front of each of the fins to give us another distinct shape into this build. And you have to remember, this is all literally wood pegs and trash. Yes, so I don't really think that anything that you do is wrong. It's just, you know, different ideas. So, and since like the only kind of rounded shapes that I have are those rounded pegs, not rounded pegs, round half globes, half orbs, yeah, they are kind of limiting. So let's try this. Let's try something different, you know. Again, this, I know that last week I was building the ancient enemy, and they kind of, one of the things that they have was asymmetry, and this kind of carries into it. This one is asymmetrical as well, so it can belong to that ancient enemy fleet, just because we kind of carry the same design language, asymmetry. Oh, come on. As you can see, again, plastic on the wood doesn't really want to hold on that well. It prefers to glue to my fingers. There we go. We have 3 of them like that. And a couple of months, years ago, I bought the punch hole. Yeah, like those bigger punch holes, they have different sizes, and I was just punching this for, I was thinking that I was building something. Come on, This was supposed to be roof tiles, yeah. And I started building the build, and I completely forgot. Like this was for the project Mordheim that I really never started correctly. But I'm gonna come back to it. I love Mordheim, and I'm gonna definitely do some Mordheim. So let's just try to use those little circles to add some interesting shapes to this. Yeah, they don't gonna really do much per se as a building material, and I always complain that I don't like cardboard on builds. Yeah, but this is Packfleet. I can accept the cardboard in here. Yeah, because this is not something that I'm gonna be like. This is not Warhammer. Yeah, and for me, cardboard on the Warhammer models kind of sucks. The same with Gaslands, even. Like if I have option to choose cardboard, I gonna probably just use some sort of a piece of plastic, even if it's not proper plastic card. I'm gonna try to avoid it. It's just I don't really like cardboard. It's just like for buildings, absolutely yes. Yeah. For models, I'm not a huge fan because during the paint process, the cardboard can bend, it can split, it can do a lot of weird things that you don't want it to do. Yeah, but for those builds, I'm okay with a lot of crap. Now I'm just thinking maybe I can just put like a couple of them on the side, make it more distinct. Let's try it. It's like instead of the hexagon ones, I can use those little cardboard circles, just to make it more interesting. And as you can see, this is some sort of a cereal box that I cut up in pieces. Either cereal or maybe even a Warhammer box, but I think it is cereal, just from what I remember. Yeah, that was cereal. I just cut like a cornflakes box into pieces because I think that I still have them on one of the projects. Okay, now my finger is part of the build, which I immensely enjoy, and you are probably immensely enjoy watching my hairy hands going across the screen. Okay, so we have 3 on each side, 3 on here, 2 on the top. Let's replicate that on the build, and I completely forgot that I actually have those discs prepared. As you can see, that was a base for a Terminator at some stage. Why I know it is Terminator? Because the legs are far enough apart to actually mark it as a Terminator build. So 1, 2, 3. Let's just grab those discs to the other side. And 1, 2, and 3. Now the other side, we're gonna do the same. And I don't really mind about the bottom of this, because I don't gonna be looking at the bottom. It's gonna be mounted, so I don't have to fix the bottom. The bottom can stay as it is. It's still gonna be okay-ish. All right, and 3 more in here, 6 more in here. So I try and dry. Okay, and now the other side. Again, we're gonna do exactly the same. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, they are already sticking to my fingers, even though I thought that I didn't get too much glue on my fingers. All right, so we have those. And now I'm just thinking, if I want to do anything else. maybe just add a little bit of a flare on the back. Yeah, just like this. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Just give it a wind spoiler or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, even though we know that there is no wind in space, but it's gonna look cooler with that. So yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, of course it fell off. So on one side, gel super glue is better because I have more time to manipulate it. On the other side, the gel super glue is a little bit worse because if it is still wet, it is easy for stuff to fall off. And I don't have patience to... Well, I do probably have enough patience. It's just whenever I'm recording, I know that I tend to ramble. And I'm just trying to avoid making those videos an hour long. Even though they usually kind of become like that when I'm showing a full build without any jump cuts. All right, so we don't have any kind of distinctive looking weapons on those. Yeah, but I think that that's actually okay. It can be, that they don't actually have distinctive looking weapons, but the weapons are actually hidden. Yeah, not everything have to be armed to the brim, to the teeth, with shiny laser cannons and orbital destroyers or whatever else you want to call it. Yeah, so we're gonna leave it as it is. I'm gonna give it a few minutes for the super glue to dry. Then I'm gonna mount them on those little circles and spray paint them. So you're gonna be back once I have the basic layer of color on them. Alright, so we are almost done with that paint job. It's not very complicated, but I misplaced my little painting teeny weeny. So let's just put the paint in here. Yep. And let me just do a little bit of dry brushing. So we're gonna load the brush with the light pink, and let's just give it a good and we're gonna just do a very quick brushing here. I just want it to be frosted, with the pink like the previous one. So I'm over brushing it quite substantially. So yep. Yeah, so almost there. Sorry, I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons right now with the guys, so I needed to roll some dice. Yeah, so that's very, very frosted. Too much paint, I guess. But like if I did actually do a little bit of a white beforehand, it would be so much easier. Yeah. But there we go. Almost done. Right, and now I need some blue for those circles. I think about painting them blue. So I just grab my little markers and we're just gonna grab the usual blue. As you can see, the full case is loaded because when I was in Poland, I just took all of the markers and I haven't paid a single mini in Poland because I spent much more time with my folks. which is nice. Yeah. So let's just do the little circles in blue. Right, there is no weaponry visible on those ships, so that's gonna be basically it. Oh yeah, the other side. So you see, that's what I enjoy about those markers, that you can just grab them and literally you have a brush ready. You don't have to think about anything else. Yeah, so it can help you with improving your speed of painting. Like I said, they are not great for everything, but they do really work well for small jobs. All right, so number 2 is done, and now just number 3, and then we're gonna have to grab the spin table. It's like painting with normal flamasters, kind of, just better pigments. All right, almost there. All right, so I'm gonna be right back with the spin table. All right, so here it is, done and dusted. That was a fairly quick build for the pack fleet lately. Smaller ships, but you know, like I do have bigger battle caps, so I think that I can work on something bigger with this kind of application. It is a little bit junky, yeah, but generally I like how it turned out. It could be improved, I think, but I'm gonna be honest, I was a little bit rushing through this entire build, and yeah, that's how it turned out. But you know what to do. If you like this video, rate, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, family, and whoever else want to watch, and everyone have a great day and take care. Bye bye.